Namaskar and welcome to all to Sports Buzz, your daily window to international and national sports news and updates. Today we will bring you facts and match analysis on T20 Cricket World Cup, football and much more. But first up, the headlines. Team India will be up against Scotland in Super 12 group stage match today at Dubai International Stadium, where birthday boy and skipper Virat Kohli will look forward to continue winning momentum. Two times T20 Cricket World Cup champions Team West Indies bows out of the ongoing T20 Cricket World Cup. Dwayne Bravo announces retirement from international cricket soon after the West Indies result at the T20 WC. An English club, Tottenham Hotspurs, beat Dutch club Vitesse in a thrilling Europa Conference League match and currently stands at second spot, whereas West Ham United enters the knockout rounds of the Europa League. And let's start with the ongoing T20 Cricket World Cup, where India will be up against Team Scotland today. Again, a must-win match for captain and birthday boy Virat Kohli, who would like to win this match not only as a present for himself on his birthday, but also for the countrymen who are very hopeful for India's place in semi-finals. So Team India will be up against Team Scotland today, and here's the match preview for all our viewers with important facts and details on today's match.
India will look to notch another big win in order to keep their semi-final hopes alive when they take on Scotland in a Super 12 clash of the 2021 World Cup in Dubai on Friday. Having beaten Afghanistan by 66 runs on Wednesday, India will be keen to secure an easy victory against the Scots. After losing to arch rivals Pakistan in their opener and then to New Zealand in their next game, Virat Kohli-led India cannot afford any more slip-up in this tournament. India must win their remaining two games while maintaining high run rates and hope for New Zealand to slip up against Namibia or Afghanistan in order to harbour hopes of a semi-final berth. Against Scotland, India are likely to retain the same lineup that thrashed Afghanistan by 66 runs in Abu Dhabi. Rohit Sharma returned to open on Wednesday after being relegated to the number 3 role against New Zealand. Rohit and KL Rahul went on to post 140 for the opening wicket, and they will be eager to build on that momentum. Ravichandran Ashwin made his first appearance for India in a limited over international match and picked 2 wickets against Afghanistan. He too could be key in keeping a check on Scotland's run rate during the game. The Kyle Coetzer-led side had made it to the Super 12 stage, finishing top of a group that included Bangladesh but is winless in this round. India's net run rate is currently plus .073, which is some way behind Afghanistan's plus 1.481 and New Zealand's plus .816. Needing New Zealand to lose one of their games for India to have hopes of semi-final qualification, the Kohli-led can control one thing though, their NRR. That is why India will need to win big to make sure they make the most of any lifeline they may potentially get in the event of New Zealand losing a game. Sports Desk, DD India.
It's going to be an interesting match for both the teams today. Well, to know what makes it more special, take a look at these graphics that will tell you some interesting facts about India versus Scotland. So this is India's first T20 Cricket World Cup match against Scotland, as 14 years ago the match was washed out. The only previous match 14 years ago between India and Scotland got washed out due to rain. And Virat Kohli needs 9 sixes to become second Indian to complete 100 sixes in T20 international cricket. Moving on, Hardik Pandya is just 2 big hits away from completing 100 sixes in international cricket. A half century further will make Virat Kohli with joint most 50+ scores in T20 internationals. And one more fact is that KL Rahul needs 3 boundaries to complete 150 boundaries in T20 internationals for himself. And these are few interesting facts about today's India versus Scotland match. And now let's take a look at the possible 11 who can be up against Scotland today from Team India. And here are the graphics for you. The possible 11 from Team India could be KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Captain Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav can also be in the Team 11. Rishabh Pant as wicketkeeper, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja, Shardul Thakur, as well as Ravichandran Ashwin, Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah. So these are the possible Team 11 against Scotland and in India's match today at T20 Cricket World Cup. And since it will officially be for the first time that Scotland will be playing against India, so let's now take a look at possible 11 of Team Scotland as well, who will be up against Team India this time. So these are George Munsey, Kylie Coetzer, who is the captain, Callum McLeod, Richie Berrington. In the possible 11 against Team India, Michael Liask, Matthews Cross as the wicketkeeper, Chris Greaves, Mark Watt can also be in the playing line-up, Safyan Sharif, Alasdair Evans and Brad Wheel in the possible 11 against Team India in today's India versus Scotland T20 Cricket World Cup match at Dubai International Stadium. Match will be played at Dubai International Stadium where Team India played and lost 2 matches at this year's T20 Cricket World Cup. India's match against Pakistan and New Zealand both took place at Dubai International Stadium and India lost both the matches. However, let's take a look at the pitch report as of today. The current pitch report says that Dubai International Stadium is a low-scoring ground. And we've seen in the previous matches as well that Dubai International Cricket Stadium is a low-scoring ground. Average first innings, if we look at the average first innings, the total in T20 internationals at this stadium is 143 in the first innings. This is the average number. And if we consider the second innings, the second total is 124. That's the average second innings total at Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Moving on, India scored 151 versus Pakistan, their opening match on Dubai International Stadium. As we've already said that this is a low scoring ground and India scored 151 versus Pakistan, and versus New Zealand they scored 110 on the pitches of Dubai International Stadium. Since it's a low scoring ground, these are the scores that India made in the initial 2 matches, and whereas India scored 210 versus Afghanistan at Sheikh Zayed Stadium. And this was the match which Team India again won, and that too with a really good margin. Well, moving on, Dwayne Bravo, one of the finest all-rounders of the West Indies, has announced his retirement after the defeat at the hands of Sri Lanka in the T20 World Cup on Thursday. He will play the last international match of his career against Australia on Saturday. This second victory in Sri Lanka's T20 World Cup in 5 matches also ended West Indies' hopes of reaching the semi-finals. Bravo has been a part of the world champion team which won the T20 Cricket World Cup in 2012 and 16, and he's played a total of 90 T20 matches for West Indies so far and has also scored 1,245 runs. Apart from this, he has also taken 78 wickets. And moving on, we are joined by our sports correspondent Narayan Singh from the newsroom with more details on today's India versus Scotland T20 Cricket World Cup Super 12 match. So Narayan, India and Scotland will be up against each other for the very first time because in the previous match, the match was washed out. What do you think?
Definitely they are in a region of unfamiliarity where both the teams had never faced each other once their match was there and it was abandoned due to rain. Definitely both the teams will try to test each other in this crucial match, especially this is very crucial for India if we talk about Scotland from here can't make it to the next stage of the tournament. For India, a very crucial match, and they will have to give their 100%. Like what they did in their previous match against Afghanistan, because here the main thing is that winning is they will try to win with a big margin, because if we talk about the match at the moment, India needs to win by big margin, and also they are dependent on the results of other teams' match, and they will hope that the Indian fans will hope that Afghanistan beating New Zealand in their group match, and India winning their both the remaining group matches with a big margin here.
Absolutely, there are many permutations and combinations that India needs to bank upon to reach their semi-finals of this T20 World Cup. Well, but however, India looks confident having beaten Afghanistan, whereas Scotland lost their all 3 matches in the T20 World Cup so far. What does it indicate, Narayan?
Definitely, after losing 2 initial matches, first against Pakistan and after that the second match against New Zealand, India was looking out of sorts in this World Cup. But if you talk about the thing is that form is temporary and class is permanent. The class, the Indian batsman and Indian team that showed in the previous match against Afghanistan, they showed that how devastating the Indian batsmen can be if they are in form. They were KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma gave a stupendous opening partnership to India in that match. Definitely, it is highly, we can say that it was very mesmerized to see such sort of cricket from the Indian cricketers. And after that, down the order, after the Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant gave a superb that already built up inning. And they scored with a strike rate of more than 200 that is expected in the T20 cricket. So all in all, Indian cricketers, basically mainly the batsmen are back in form, and hopefully they will sustain this gained momentum and the aggression in this match also. And we will hoping that India will again win by a big margin so that they can maintain a healthy run rate.
And as you said, Narayan, form is temporary and class is permanent. But again, India is back on the same pitch where it lost initial 2 and crucial matches that too. What can be expected from today's match?
Definitely, if we talk about India lost 2 matches in this pitch, but it's if we talk about after losing the first match against Pakistan, actually there is some. It was looking like the team India came on the back foot, and they few bad changes they made in the match against New Zealand. Bringing in Ishan Kishan in place of Rohit Sharma as an opener, and Rohit Sharma is playing at number 3. So few mistakes were there, and because of that we saw India were all out for 110 in the match against New Zealand. But after that the issues has been addressed, because sometimes if we talk about after losing the first match, never all great teams who has a long stretch of wins in any form of cricket, at one point of time that winning streak has to be stopped, and no teams continuously can win forever. So it was an if we talk about the Pakistan's match, it was a one-off match, and after that some sort of we can say that few wrong decisions were taken, and India lost the second match also. But now it's a thing of past. It doesn't matter where if any team, if any cricketers play a quality cricket and they play to their potential and they play according to the condition, definitely the toss and the pitch matters. But for a team who is playing quality cricket and great cricket, definitely all these things comes at backseat. And hopefully the India, after I think the cricketers our cricketers are in form again, and they will continue that aggression and momentum and in this match also, and hoping that they will post a big target if they are batting first, and even if they are chasing the target, definitely I think there will be no problem, and India will definitely go for a big win here to maintain a healthy run rate.
And I think by this time India is well prepared for both the situations if they are sent to bat first or bowl first. Well, also Narayan, it is Captain Kohli's birthday as well, and he will look forward to come back with a victory. Your thoughts on Captain Virat Kohli's overall performance in this T20 Cricket World Cup?
Definitely, if you talk about the overall T20 World Cup, Virat Kohli in 18 innings he has scored more than 846 runs, and he is at the top of this list. His average, if you talk about the T20 World Cup, is more than 76. And at number 2nd is Mike Hussey, whose average is around 54. So this is the difference where Virat Kohli stands in T20 format of the cricket. He has scored a plethora of runs for the Indian cricket team in the this format, especially in the T20 World Cup. Hoping that he will try, he will again give us the great performance here for the Team India, because it's a special day for him, and a win with a big margin definitely will be the icing on the cake for Virat Kohli and Team India.
Absolutely, Narayan. And my last question to you is that what are the key points that India needs to keep in mind before heading for today's important match?
Basically, if you are batting first, definitely we put a good start is very important for any team. Especially here, if our openers Rohit Sharma and Keval Rahul again gives a good start to the Indian team, and down the order there is a firepower of Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pandey, Ravindra Jadeja is there. So if this happens, definitely batting first they can put a good score, and if they are chasing, if you are bowling first, India must need 2 or 3 wickets in the power play, because it will be decisive, and if they can control the Scotland in the power play overs and getting 2 or 3 wickets, definitely it will be India's match. And apart from that, we can say that and overall India should maintain that aggression and that momentum that they got in the match against Afghanistan. If that they can sustain, definitely India will have an upper hand in this match.
So before letting you go, one more last question, Narayan. Any major changes that we are expecting in the playing 11 today from Team India's side?
Apart from niggles, if there are no niggles and no injuries, I don't think Captain Virat Kohli will go for a change, because in the match against New Zealand, they made a few changes in the batting order, and for that they have paid. But it was, I think, it was a decision that was taken in very in such circumstances. Hopefully, they want to avoid Rohit Sharma against Trent Bolt in that match. There may be different angles to look a story, but right now, even if you take a look at the Virat Kohli's track record in the past 6 and 7 months, now he is very reluctant to make changes in the team. Before that, he used to make change in every match, but with his he's getting more mature as a captain. Now he is more reluctant to make changes, and hopefully I think that India will go with the same playing 11 if there are no niggles and injuries.
Absolutely, because that playing 11 helped them win big against Afghanistan as well. So thank you so much, Narayan, for joining us at Sports Buzz on a special discussion on today's match, India versus Scotland, in their second group stage match in India versus Scotland. Moving ahead, interesting day for both the teams, which will be up against each other for the first time in action, because the first match got washed out due to rain. That was 14 years ago. So moving on. Moving on to other international stories from the world of sports. New Zealand has announced the team for this month's tour of India. However, for now, the test team has been announced. 5 spinners have got a place in the 15-man squad, while fast bowler Trent Bolt has not got a chance. The spinners include Ajaz Patel, Will Somerville, Mitchell Santner, Rachin Ravindra and Glenn Phillips. The New Zealand team will play the first 3-match T20 series on India tour. It will start from 17th of November. After this, a 2-test series will also be played in Kanpur from 25th of November and Mumbai from 3rd of December. And moving on to some international football news now, English club West Ham United have made it to the knockout rounds of the Europa League. West Ham had to be content with a 2-2 draw against KRC Genk in Group H, played on Thursday night. In this match, Saeed Bandrima scored 2 goals in the second half for West Ham. Despite the match being drawn, West Ham advanced to the next round, finishing on top of Group H with 10 points. Second place Dynamo Zagreb had 6 points. And substitute Jamie Vardy had a penalty saved as Leicester were held by Spartak Moscow in a draw that leaves their hopes of qualifying from Europa League Group C in the balance. The Foxes are third in a tight group with 2 games remaining, and Brendan Rodgers' side will rue a failure to take 3 points on Thursday. The hosts had been completely dominant, but it was the visitors who took a surprise lead when former Chelsea winger Victor Moses hit it in unmarked following a swift attack. Leicester are at 2 points behind group leaders Napoli, who have 7 points after thumping second place Lechia Warsaw 4-1 earlier. An English club, Tottenham Hotspurs, beat Dutch club WC by 3-2 in a thrilling Europa Conference League match. With this, manager Antonio Conte has started his winning campaign. Son Heung-min scored for Spurs in the 14th minute to put the team 1-0 ahead. Lucas Moura scored the second goal for Tottenham in the 22nd minute. 6 minutes later, Rasmussen scored his own goal to give Tottenham a 3-0 lead. However, he scored the Dutch club's first goal in the 32nd minute to reduce the scoreline to 1-3. And after this match, Tottenham remains in second place. And moving on to other international tennis update now. Serbian tennis legend Novak Djokovic has reached the quarterfinals of the Paris Masters tennis tournament. Djokovic was to face Monfils in the pre-quarterfinals but was given a walkover due to an injury to the French player. With this, Djokovic has also made a new record in his name. He's won the most matches while being world number 1. Novak Djokovic has 418 matches to his name, while Roger Federer has 1,417 matches in his name. And world number 2 Daniil Medvedev needed 3 sets to see off Sebastian Korda of the United States by 4-6, 6-1 and 6-3 at the Paris Masters. The US Open champion will play Frenchman Hugo Gaston, who stormed back from a 0-5 second set deficit to beat Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz by 6-4, 7-5 and reach the quarterfinals. A few months ago, that veteran Taekwondo athlete and trainer Yasamin Azizi was coaching around 60 to 70 athletes a day in Kabul. But since the Taliban retook Afghanistan in August, she is being confined to coaching no more than 10 in a day in an empty gym, and that too in a secret place. Azizi has been a member of Afghanistan's national female taekwondo team for the past 6 years and has participated in major matches. Making matters more complicated, Azizi is an ethnic Hazara, a predominantly Shiite minority which have long been discriminated against Afghanistan from a mix of factors, of which religion is just one. Many recent attacks claimed by Sunni extremist group Islamic State have targeted Shiite mosques across the country. Azizi said she is considered leaving Afghanistan for good to pursue her taekwondo career. Well, that's all for now from me and the entire team, with festive greetings to all. We will be back again on Monday with latest sporting updates. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy and keep watching TT India. Bye-bye.